Welcome, Forex Fortune Hunters. Tom Wilmot speaking. Today we have some magnificent Metatrader helpful hacks for you. We've got a series of these going, and we're going to cover 5 today, so stay tuned. Okay, folks, whether you're a beginning Metatrader user and you just need to figure out what the heck is going on, or whether you're experienced and a great Forex trader but you need some tips, or you want to make sure you haven't missed anything, this is the video for you. We've got 5 more tips and tricks this afternoon, starting with watching Market Watch, because there's a great feature there that helps you to check real-time spreads from your broker. Number 2, we're going to right-click on that chart window and go to the Properties menu, and I'll show you a way that you can actually print your previous chart setups. If that's a black window in the background, obviously you're going to use up your old toner cartridge, so you don't want to do that. So we're going to change that up and show you how it works. Number 3, we're going to combine our technical indicators into a template, for those of you who may not know how to do that yet. Number 4, in that file menu, we're going to open the data folder, a critically important piece of Metatrader, so that you can see what your indicators are, the default ones versus the custom ones, and maybe you can save those to your desktop. File. Number 5, how to change your password. It's really important before you have a crisis to make sure you know what your password is with your broker and where you could change it. So we're going to show you how to get it, write it down, and be prepared for chaos. Okay, let's grind into those charts. Okay, let's get started with these great hacks. We first of all want to find out about spreads, and you can remember that what we have here is our magnified market price, which means very simply that the price of the bid right now is 113.61 on this Euro USD 15-minute chart. And remember also that if we were to go over here to the Properties menu, we could put the ask line in there as well, so we could see the difference in the spread. Well, you don't want to be sitting around multiplying and dividing by 63 and subtracting and so forth. So a better way to find out about real-time spreads is very simply to go to Market Watch. And if you're in this list of symbols here, you can see that the bid-ask is here, and the current value for the spread is listed along the side. So if we come down again to the Euro USD, we can see that right now, and it's high because we're getting close to 5 o'clock our time in Boston, and so therefore all the spreads kind of widen out at the end of the trading day. Anyway, 3.2 pips is the answer to the question. Now, if that isn't appearing on your screen, you can click on any one of them. Right click is what I did, and notice there's a check mark here next to spread. So if that is clicked, you'll see it, and if it's turned off, that column will disappear. Okay, as you can see, the Euro USD had a nasty day today. Here's this 15-minute chart. This was the open last evening, about 8 o'clock actually, when the rollover occurs in Boston, 8 o'clock in the evening. And we just continued to plummet all day down to 113.62. So that's $1.13 and 61 pips to get a euro. Anyway, suppose you wanted to take a quick shot of this particular chart in order to see where you entered a trade or what the setup looked like. But notice this black background, which is just one background you could have, but it's the one I use all the time, is clearly not something you want to use up all your ink on your printer. And as a result of that, how can we find another format that would give us a white background? So anyway, here we go. We're going to right click in Properties, and this time we're going to go to the Colors menu, and all of the colors for all of the candles and everything else are listed here. Notice this first one is black. Let's change that to white. We'll make it white, and the foreground we'll make black. We'll change it all around. And now let's just take a look at what happens to our chart, and you can notice that this is a much different kind of picture that you could easily use on your inkjet printer. So, also template. I think I have one up here. Let's see what I've got here. Do I have a white one? Not. Maybe I don't. I don't have my white chart here. It's on the other machine. But obviously, also you can plug in any of the various colors and tinker around with them until you get the kind of thing you'd really like to have in terms of it printing effectively for you on your printer with this background. Okay, let's move on. Now we're going to take a look at how to combine some technical indicators into a template. So let's go back over here to properties and let's review our stuff here. Let's go back over in here. We'll have black, we'll have a foreground of white, and we'll get ourselves back into an even keel. Now let's suppose that today we wanted to know what was happening. We can obviously go to here and see a template if we wanted to. Let's take a look at one of the first templates that we've got in our situation. Let's take a look. This is just our multiple moving averages down in this particular area here. Okay, so this represents a template that we've already saved. It's called AA347. I have my code words for it, but in any event, let's go back and try to start fresh so that you'll see how this really works. Whoops, come on, baby. Let's see what's going on here. We'll go to 1, and we'll go back to our other chart here. And let's say we want to insert an indicator, and we've got our trend indicator, moving average, and we'd like that to be our 47. And so now we can see this 47 EMA is really kind of helpful in terms of tracking progress of what's happening. And let's say that we wanted to add yet another trend indicator, another moving average. And we'd like to have this be a 12 EMA, and we'd like it to be yellow, and we're going to make it big enough to see. So now, and we're going to apply it to the close, as you can see, and you can change that all around depending upon which of the indicator settings you'd like. And so now we have all day long this just enormously unpleasant kind of downtrend in the Euro USD. Let's add an oscillator just to see what's going on. And we'll take a look at this, and I'll go to oscillators, and we'll have an RSI, Relative Strength Index. As I mentioned before in other videos, I use a 45-55 band so I can see what's happening. Notice we spent almost all day below the 45-55 area. The only time we tucked up here was into this, smashed right into the 47, and sure enough, nothing good happened after that. Okay, so now let's pretend that we'd like to save this template, and we'd like to say, what's the name? And it's going to give us an opportunity to do that down here, and we can say test template. Okay, and as a matter of fact, let's put an AA in front of it so we can pop it to the top of the list. And now we can go back up into this area, and it should appear to us somewhere. Let's see what test template right here is saved. So for example, if we move over to US JPY and we wanted to test that on another pair, we come back over here and we have our test template, and sure enough, that's the situation that we had with the US JPY today. Now we're going to take a look at a very important issue, and that issue is, how do you know where your indicators are, and how can you change them around, okay? In Metatrader, on the File menu, there's a very important tab, and it's called Open Data Folder. Basically, Metatrader popped this in about 4 years ago now, and this gives you instant access to the folders related to Metatrader in your Windows environment. So if we open that up, let's see what we got going on over here. I'll have to bring this into the screen for you. You can see that right now it's Tom's desktop, our application data, meta quotes, terminal, and there we are. And this is the configuration history for the whole Metatrader folder. MQL4 is the folder that you would open to get your indicators, but notice down here our templates are listed here. There are all the ones that I have. If you want to move up, it's just like moving up in any one of the file system areas. Let's go to MQL4, and in fact, there are your robots, and here's our list of indicators. It'll populate in just a second, I hope. There she goes. So now you can see down through all of them we have not only the ones that are default for you, but also the ones that would give us custom capability that we might have found on the internet. So for example, many people who've traded with me know the T3 Tilson is one that we have. And notice here the executable file versus the source code file. And we'll get into some modifications of source code, just simple ones in a future video, but basically that's what you have. So if you only have the executable file that you've either gotten from the internet or you purchased from someone, you can't make changes to it. The only way you can modify is if you have the source file. Now what I really recommend is that you take a look at all of your indicators, and what you need to do is copy this whole folder out onto your desktop and then perhaps onto a flash drive. So if you ever have a catastrophe, you do not have to redo all of your indicators. That would be disaster. So don't let it happen to you. And that would be easy enough to do just by copying all the files, saving them to your desktop and or to a flash drive or out into the cloud perhaps, just to make sure you have the backups that you require. Okay, now basically what we're going to do is finish up by changing our password, because that's another safety and backup issue that you really need to take care of for yourself. When you sign up for Metatrader, your head is spinning, you don't really know what's going on. Your broker probably sent you a crazy password. Whether you even have it written down is a question. You can always call them or talk to them. You may have to do that, but I recommend you do that before you get into big trouble. If you go to File menu, you can log into your trade account here, okay? And you can open a dummy account if you like, a simulation account here. But bottom line is, if you want to change your password, you're going to come over into this area here, go to Options, and then in this particular area here, we have our account number, and that would be the account number that appears each time when you pop in your Metatrader program and make it go live. And then here's your password that you have hopefully written down from when you started things. Changing the password, clicking here allows you to make that change, but you do need to know what your previous password was before you can go forward. So that's it, guys. For our hacks for the time being, we'll think of some new ones and share them with you in the future. We're going to talk a lot more about Fibonacci and others in upcoming videos, so please subscribe. Hit that bell down on the corner of the YouTube area, and then you'll be able to get an alert whenever that next video appears and is posted and published. Also, please comment and please like our videos so that we know what information you'd like to receive next. Once again, Tom Wilmot for FXFortuneHunter.com. Hope you've enjoyed it. See you in the next show.